So a night of karaoke with friends, right? It's fun. Everybody's singing, they're dancing, a lot of laughs, right? Well, killer karaoke isn't exactly like what I just described. I mean, I've never had a squid or squid parts even dumped on my head at the local watering hole. Here this morning, platinum-selling pop artist and new host of True TV's outrageous singing competition, Mark McGrath. Good to see you, Mark.
Mike, how you doing, my brother?
Fantastic. I've seen the video of this show. This is outrageous. Where do we start with this? Tell us about the concept of this show.
I mean, you kind of touched on it a little bit. You know, it's people, talented singers performing karaoke while all kinds of horrible things are being done to them. Now that may happen to be a wide variety of things like wild animals, disgusting potions, you're stepping into things, all kinds of crazy things can happen while you're doing killer karaoke. Like you said, people do karaoke and that's scary, but add a little bit of wild animals into the mix, it's a wrap, dude. It gets real scary very quickly.
So I mean, these are people that are normally fairly talented singers, right? So how do they sound musically and vocally when they've got all these obstacles that they got to go through?
Let's just say that some of the keys change a little bit and people add words where there necessarily weren't words.
Right.
I remember one of the contestants singing one of my songs that I wrote, Fly, and they were adding these, woo, like these like James Brown, like, woo, these Prince highs, and they were just going through a cactus maze. And that's not how I wrote the song, but it fitted the killer karaoke challenge he was doing. So yeah, interesting noises come out of the contestants, to say the least.
I imagine. We're looking at some of the video right now. Some of these obstacles, I mean, some are just really gross. Which one stands out to you?
You know, they were sitting around and they had a potion of stuff and had cow brains and all sorts of other entrails of things. And these demented minds at the show said, we need one more thing. What can we do? Right. So one genius came up with the idea of going around the studio and dumping all the cigarette butts they could find into the potion. And that was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. Because you know what's in those ashtrays? People dump soda, gum, all sorts of stuff. And the poor person actually selected that bucket and it fell on her head. The studio smelled. It was so disgusting. And she won the challenge, but did she really win the challenge? You know what I'm saying, Mike?
Right.
It's pretty terrible.
Yeah, I'd say she lost right there. You've done a lot in your career.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
You've done a lot in your career. Man, I remember watching. I love your songs, by the way. Why did this job appeal to you?
You know, there's a lot of performance involved, you know, and it has to do with fear. And people's like two biggest fears are, one is death, of course, and second is public speaking. And I think people challenge that in their karaoke bars during the weekend, as you said earlier at the top of the show, where you know, you go out there, you have a couple drinks, you have some fun, but this is killer karaoke. It is the next dimension. These are challenges I would never do in a million years. But I watched the show last year and I said, I'll have the front row seat to watch what's going on. I'm in. And I've never laughed harder in my life. But I'm also empathetic to the contestants because I've performed before. I've failed on stage before. So I'm kind of like their big brother, their Sergeant Hulka up there for them. And it's a great place just to use my hosting skills, if you will, but have fun with the contestants as well. It's killer karaoke, Mike. They had me at killer.
It is killer karaoke. Also, you were talking about being on stage. Any plans for you? Any plans for any new music for you?
Yeah, you know, we're always writing stuff, and we're looking at putting stuff up on iTunes and on our website. You know, the days of selling millions of records are gone for everybody. I mean, U2 doesn't even sell a million records anymore, which is sad. That was a fun era to be a part of. So we're looking at doing it that way, but we still perform live a lot. I put a tour together called Under the Sun every year, which we stopped in Omaha last year, and hopefully we'll make it there this year. We've got the Blues Traveler, Smash Mouth, Sugar Ray, and Uncle Kracker on the tour. So it's a great night of 90s-centric music. And if you don't like #1 songs from the 90s, please don't come.
No, I remember that too. I didn't get to the show. I remember when you were in Omaha. But if you get to Omaha this year, swing by the studio. We'll catch up then. New episodes of Killer Karaoke premiere tonight at 9 o'clock on True TV. Mark, thanks for your time this morning. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate it. Take care, everybody in Omaha.
You betcha. Mary, over to you.
Bye-bye.